New Scotland Yard, London, England, an address that is known worldwide. Headquarters of the Metropolitan Police, guardians of the capital city against crime. In the marbled lobby, an eternal flame burns in memory of those members of the civil staff who have given their lives in both world wars, together with a book of honour in which is recorded the names of police officers who have lost their lives in the course of duty. And in a quiet corner of the building, a place where legend becomes fact that I would like to tell you about. But it is for the Deputy Commissioner to invite you in.
Here in the Yard is one of the police museums that many have heard of, but few have visited. It's an unusual museum and started life in 1875, when it was decided to keep certain items of property seized in connection with crime to instruct the young detectives of the then relatively new Detective Department of Scotland Yard. It was not too long before the press gave this collection of somewhat macabre artifacts the unofficial title of the Black Museum. And so it's remained over the years, exhibiting the darker side of human nature, instructing the professional policeman and the lawyer, and intriguing the layman by its very name and remoteness. We've never opened the doors of the Black Museum to the general public, and all visits have been by way of invitation and always highly prized. The exhibits range from the apparently insignificant to the spectacular, and from the hardly known to the infamous, whose names are known throughout the world. They have in common one thing: supreme importance to the history of crime and the criminal, as you will see.
The only clue to an unsolved murder. A murder committed with this tiny pellet, no bigger than a pinhead. The victim, Georgi Markov, a popular writer in his native Bulgaria, who had fallen foul of the communist regime and taken refuge in London, where he broadcast for the BBC Overseas Service and made frequent trips to Munich to broadcast for the American radio Free Europe. Just before 1:30 p.m. on Thursday, the 7th of September 1978, he parked his car in a car park south of the river and walked up the stone steps onto Waterloo Bridge to catch a bus that would take him the few hundred yards to the BBC studios at Bush House in the Aldwych. As he waited at the bus stop, he suddenly felt a sharp pain in the back of his leg. He turned to see a man picking up an umbrella. The man apologized in a heavy foreign accent, then hailed a taxi. The driver appeared to have some difficulty in understanding him. Georgi Markov, believing that he had been accidentally prodded with the tip of an umbrella, thought nothing more of it. Within 36 hours, he developed a fever and was rushed to hospital. Within 3 days, he was in intensive care. Within 4 days, he was dead. An autopsy revealed this pellet lodged in the back of his right thigh. Was the man with the umbrella his executioner? Was the umbrella an air gun? Look very closely. Holes drilled in the pellet, which is made of platinum and iridium, an alloy that the human body would not reject. Holes large enough to contain a death-dealing dose of a chemical poison called ricin, which would produce precisely the symptoms suffered by Georgi Markov before death.